Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about a topic which is very relevant in these days, I tell you, because we live in an era, in times where everybody, the society wants to make us consumers, and they want to make us to spend more and more and as much as possible. Now, this topic is, why do we put so much attention on camera gear? I have to tell you that I made a video not too long ago about, is it important to buy new gear or not? And actually in that video I said that buying new gear will have some advantages, and that is absolutely true. I don't want to get the misconception over here that buying new camera gear is not really important. Well, it's not really important, it's not important at all. It is important until a certain stage, but unfortunately today's society, they want to force us to buy more and more, and even when it's not important to spend. Now, why do I say that it's not that important? Because lenses are more important than cameras, and every photographer will know, especially if you owned a lot of cameras and lenses. I owned a lot of cameras and lenses my own life, through my photography career. And I tell you, I owned Pentax cameras, I owned Nikon cameras, I owned Olympus cameras, I owned Fuji cameras, Panasonic cameras, Sony cameras, Nikon cameras, lenses I owned Sigma, Nikon, Pentax, Fuji, all kind of lenses. And I tell you something, I got to the conclusion that a good lens is much more important than the camera body. Now, any kind of camera body, especially these modern days, almost any kind of camera body will do the job, especially if you are a landscape photographer, portrait photographer, this where you don't need really fast autofocus, and these kind of things. Now, if you are in some areas of photography where you really need fast autofocus, or you really need low light performance, or these kind of specialized cameras, I would say, it's obvious that you have to buy the newest, the latest and greatest to be able to do your job as fast and as effective as possible. But in the same times, many times we see that people are buying new cameras just because of the trend. Now, is that important or not? I chimp down on my phone over here sometimes. Sorry about it, because I want to see my notes. So in my opinion, people forget one of the most important things, and that would be that learning about light and exposure and posing techniques and these kind of things, it is much more important than buying new cameras. Now, if you buy a new camera, that will improve probably your quality of the photo, but it will not increase the artistic values of the photo. And I tell you something, many times I see in my clients, when I give the photos to my clients, that they don't really appreciate the high quality of the photo, because I did with an expensive camera. They much more appreciate the artistic value of the photo. And in the same time, well, obviously, don't forget that the photo has to be sharp, has to be in focus, and all that, But we can say that the modern cameras and these days cameras, the sensors, they are almost the same quality. If you shoot in RAW, the example, let's say the 24 megapixel APS-C size sensor I'm talking about. Now, if you take an APS-C size sensor with anti-aliasing filter and without anti-aliasing filter, the one without anti-aliasing filter will be a little bit sharper than the one with anti-aliasing filter. Will you see that in the photo? You will. Because when you look at the photo, you will see a pop in the photo, Now, obviously, if you are a photographer and your eyes form, you will see even better. But even the customers will notice that there is a slight difference. There is something which looks really good to your eyes. Now, that's why I always say that you must have very sharp lenses and very sharp sensor, because you can reduce the sharpness anytime. But it's really hard to put sharpness in your photos in post-processing without damaging the photo. Now, let's get back to the topic. If you think that your job requires the latest and greatest, so be it, you have to buy the latest and greatest. But generally speaking, I think that we don't really need, especially in my scenario, when I'm a portrait and wedding photographer, I don't really need the latest and greatest cameras all the time. But unfortunately, we are kind of let's say addicted to buy new cameras and new gear. Now I have to tell you that society wants to make us like this, because this is a consumer-based society, and they do a really good job, because they succeed, I tell you, to convince us and to make us consumers. But will you need that for your job? In certain cases, yes. Most of the cases, no, you don't need it. This is my tip. If you want to invest your money, now obviously if you have a lot of money and you don't care about the money, then buy whatever you like. But I'm talking about over here to those people who the budget is tighter, and they don't have money to spend just without thinking. So if you want to spend your money wisely, invest in lenses. And what kind of lenses? Now what I did, the example, and what I want to do, I invest in manual lenses, and good manual lenses. Zeiss lenses, Voigtlander lenses, even manual Nikon lenses or Canon lenses, older manual lenses, you can invest in those excellent image quality lenses. And then whenever you change the camera body, because camera body will come and go, whenever you change the camera body, you just buy an adapter and you can fit on any camera. I'm talking about mirrorless cameras now. Obviously, if you have a DSLR, you have to buy but what I did, the example, I own Nikon DSLR. So I bought my manual lenses on Nikon mount, so I can use on any Nikon DSLR, but in the same time, I can use on any mirrorless camera with an adapter. So that's my tip. Better invest in lenses. Think twice, don't buy the latest and greatest cameras all the time just because it came out on the market, and just because it is marketed like the best, and it is like it will increase the quality of your photos with 200%. It will not. In certain situations it will, if you need it. And that's what I said in that video which I made a few months ago, that if you want to buy new gear, you have to buy it if you need it. If you are a sports photographer, if you are a wildlife photographer, if you are, I don't know, a photographer who works a lot in dim light, in low light, and you need the latest and greatest for your work to be able to work fast and effective, you will need it. But other than that, you don't really need it. Lenses are much more important, and the learning curve is really, really important. You have to learn about light, you have to learn about composition, you have to learn about these kind of things which are extremely important in your photography. Now, I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope that you liked it. If you think that I forgot something out of this video, please feel free and leave a comment down below. If you think that I didn't say something which is really important and you want to add something constructive, feel free and leave a comment down below. And if you like these videos, please like and subscribe and share my videos. And other than that, I wish you a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.